For a lot of you, when you talk about what was significant, what is it that God has caused you to be where you are, it comes down to somebody who has taught you or is teaching you or used to teach you the Bible. But they taught it unlike anyone else ever had to you. The Bible came alive when they began to teach it. And here's this is the stack right here for the community group leaders. All of these have names on them of people that they heard sermons from or talks from, whether it was a youth pastor, a pastor growing up, or a pastor in college, or the Northridge teaching team, whatever it is. And they'll list Chuck Swindoll, or John Piper, or John MacArthur, or Matt Chandler, or guys that they listen to their podcasts, and they teach the Bible in a way that has captivated their heart and life. At the very end of the Sermon on the Mount, there's this description of how the people responded to the teaching of Jesus, and it says this: when Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching because he taught as one who had authority, not as their teachers of the law. So the people hearing this, all of a sudden Jesus taught differently than they'd ever heard before. And that's what those that list a teacher or a preacher on your list, it probably is somebody that taught differently than you'd heard before. That I grew up hearing a lot of Bible teaching, and it never captivated me. I always used to think it was my problem. Now when I look back, I'm not sure that it was. Because there came a point in my life where there were people that taught the Bible in a way that enlarged my vision for God. It enlarged my love for the Bible. And you have probably the same kind of person in your life where you wanted to hear more. You wanted to know more. You wanted to do more. It wasn't just about knowledge. It was about changing the way you lived, changing the way you thought. So you may have a story similar to that. That there's someone who, when they talk from the scriptures, it just opens your eyes and it gets you excited. Last week I kind of mentioned in passing that one of the standards we have around here is there's 3 questions that we try to ask to know if the sermon is on target, being a practical sermon. Number 1, is it accurate? Is it true to what the Bible says? Are we teaching the Bible? Are we just kind of giving our opinion? Are we trying to say, here's what the Bible says and here's what it means, or is it just, good things to say? Number 2, is it clear? Do people know what you said? When we're done, are people able to, in 30 seconds, be able to say, here's what it was about, or here's the most important truth, or here's what I'm supposed to do? Clarity has to do with content and application. Is it clear? Thirdly, though, is it compelling? Because if it's really clear and you know what you're supposed to do, but you're not motivated to do it, what good is it? And you have to answer these 3 questions to know if it's a good sermon, good practical teaching. You see, if it's accurate and clear, but it's not compelling, then it just ends up being an intellectual exercise, and it actually ends up, we'll talk about this next week, leads to a lot of spiritual pride if it's accurate and clear, but it doesn't cause you to change and want to change. If it's accurate, or if it's clear and compelling, but it's not accurate to the Bible, then it's a motivational talk or it's moralism, but it's not biblical teaching. And if it's accurate and compelling, but it's not clear, then you're moved emotionally and you want to do something, you just don't know what you're supposed to do. So good sermons, good messages, good preaching should be accurate, clear, and compelling.